check 1 2. Last Revolution Media here in Santa Monica, California, in front of a Bernie Sanders van. We're here to document and ask Bernie Sanders supporters how he feels about Hillary Clinton stealing the election. And we're going to go in the beehive and find out how's everybody feeling about the upcoming election and how Hillary's stealing the primary. You got the Bernie Sanders van shipping people in.
I don't think Hillary stole it. I think the media gave it to her.
The media gave it to her?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about the pushback?
It was AP that said that she's the presumptive nominee. She didn't come out and say, actually, she said it earlier a couple months ago, but she didn't come right out and say, like, hey, I'm the nominee now, so this is done.
How does that make you feel in trusting the local media and the mainstream media?
I've always questioned them for a while, so.
What about you?
Oh, no. I mean, I don't know if you could blame her personally, even though she's, not my favorite person on the planet, but, it's one of those things. You realize that corporate interest is something she's always fought for, and what she'll continue to fight for.
What's your name?
Her alignments with them, not with us.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And what do you agree with Bernie Sanders? What was your main thing about him?
He's a candidate that's driven by vision, and I think that if we band together, we can have a better world. I think that's the most important thing is unity. I don't think it's division.
And how do you feel about Hillary Clinton's trial?
Did we get there earlier?
Trial?
Or investigation by
investigation. Okay, I was gonna say if it was a trial, I'd be celebrating. But I hope that she's treated like any other citizen would be.
I think it's very fraudulent, and I think the reporting venues that reported that early actually have no integrity when it comes to reporting.
Okay. And does this put your trust even more into the mainstream media?
I don't trust the mainstream media whatsoever. I'm all about the Young Turks and moving away from mainstream media.
Yeah, awesome. And I overheard you saying that you're in the military, correct?
I was prior, U.S. Navy, yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, man, for your service. How do you feel about Hillary Clinton and her Benghazi scandal?
I'm getting goosebumps from you asking me that question. I had a friend that was a SEAL, and I don't agree with anything she's done as far as Benghazi, as far as taking us over to Libya. I think it's all a crock of crap.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Cuz probably is.
Go ahead.
So, as much as I don't like talking about the whole Benghazi thing, anyone who served in a position that required a security clearance in the military, we signed the same paperwork. All right, and when something goes wrong, it's 25 to life. All right, we all signed the same paperwork for this high security clearance, and no one should have an exception. No one.
If you had something to say, if she was watching this right now, what would you say to Hillary Clinton?
I'd say I could care less about what happened in Benghazi, but the email server at home, very inappropriate. Should not have been done.
Oh, I'd say a lot more than inappropriate. I'd say that you have put us at risk with our national security secrets. I say if Russia and the Kremlin really have 2,000 of your emails and China has your emails, that you are a shame to this country. You need to drop out of the race and drop out of the spotlight. And that's the message I'm bringing to Philadelphia for you, Hillary.
I don't think we're good to comment on that. Thank you. I didn't. No. They're not pro Bernie. They are.
We're not pro anyone.
It says, that's one of the rare cases where I don't think enough of the information has been genuine enough for us to really have a comment. I think that it's been contorted and twisted around by the media, by everybody, including Hillary herself, that there's no real way to say how good or bad it is.
I know all about it. And how do you feel about the delegates, the super delegates taking over the election and the media trying to, push it to more towards Hillary Clinton's side?
You'll have to cut on that because my answer probably isn't good enough. So please don't.
What about you? How do you feel about Hillary Clinton?
I don't like him.
Do you guys trust the mainstream media or?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, that's pretty cool, man.
Thanks.
How do you feel? Why are you here out today?
I'm here to support Bernie Sanders. He's the only candidate that actually poses a threat to the system. Doesn't take money from big money, and yeah, I think he's a good chance for our country.
Like the super PAC?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
How do you feel about Hillary Clinton stealing the election in plain sight?
Not feeling that.
Yeah. Not feeling the burn on that one, huh?
No,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if she does, well, she probably is getting the primary nominee.
Yeah.
Would you vote for her, or who would you vote for if it was Trump?
I personally would hope that Bernie would run as an independent. I'm never going to vote for Hillary, and I'm not going to vote for Trump either. I know you guys support Trump. I'm not sure why.
I don't support.
Okay, well, I know Alex Jones supports Trump. I'm not sure why, because he's been talking.
We're not with Infowars.
Your shirt says Infowars.
I have an Infowars shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He believes Hillary for prison.
Okay. Yeah, I think Hillary should be in prison too. But yeah, Trump has been talking to Kissinger recently, and Hillary is close to Kissinger as well. Kissinger is responsible for the death of 3 million people in Southeast Asia. Bernie has come out opposed to Kissinger, and he has called out Hillary on her relationship with him. So, you know, he's like the only candidate and one of the only politicians in the United States who would say something like that. So we need someone that has that boldness and just doesn't. And Jill Stein too. Yeah.
And how do you put your faith in the mainstream media to bring you the news? And
I put zero faith in the mainstream media to bring the news. They're completely owned by corporations. They're a corporate venture. They're representing special interests. There's no reason for me to believe what they're saying.
They're top donors to Hillary's campaign too.
What's that?
They donate.
Yeah,
They're some of the top donors to her campaign.
Time Warner has donated to Hillary's campaign. I mean, if you looked at the Associated Press release yesterday, if you looked at the title of that image and the hyperlink, the title of that image was "Secret Win" in the Associated Press release. So I mean, there's obviously collusion between the mainstream media and the government. They're one and the same, and Bernie presents a challenge to that system.
you guys hear it first. Bernie Sanders supporters are not feeling Hillary. So
I got one more question. Bernie Sanders is a self-proclaimed socialist, right?
Democratic socialist.
Democratic socialist. What's the difference?
There's a big difference.
What's the difference?
A socialist state such as Venezuela or Russia.
Yeah, how's that going for Venezuela?
Well, you let me finish? Okay, Russia was a socialist state. We agree on that, right? Run by Stalin, but that was a dictatorship where there wasn't democratic elections. If you look at a social democracy such as Germany or France or Norway, they hold elections and they vote in and out their leaders, as opposed to a socialist dictatorship such as Venezuela, which I don't agree with that system. And Bernie Sanders believes extremely much in democracy, much more than the Republican candidates or other Democratic candidates right now.
Well, we are a republic, not a democracy.
Yes, we're a constitutional republic. That is correct.
Yeah. So,
but we believe in democratic values. We believe in voting, and we believe in voting through a constitutional republic.
how's the Democrats started by the KKK, like Margaret Sanger?
Yes, you're talking about the Dixiecrats. Yes, there are a lot of Democrats that have Dixiecrat history. Hillary Clinton herself worked for Goldwater, who voted against the Civil Rights Act. And there are a lot of racists that were in the Democratic Party in the past. And that's why a lot of us are here for Bernie. He wasn't a Democrat until a year ago. He's just doing that because that's how you can get into the system. But yeah, he's an independent. He's run as an independent for 40 years. That's why we're here.
Democracies, and they're social democracies.
Yeah.
So the money that you and I pay for taxes, they go directly back to the citizenship. They're investing in education, they're investing in medical assistance and in retirement. And the system works perfectly. It's not like here where the money goes to help
foreign wars and
and like investing in outside country that have no rules to control pollution and so on and so forth.
I just don't agree if they try to take away my Second Amendment, because I'm a big Second Amendment advocate. And,
I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
we love our guns.
So none of these countries have Second Amendment rights.
Right, but
See, that's the difference between
Bernie Sanders and
these countries.
these other
Well, what if he's just lying to you?
Why would you say that?
You guys 9/11 truthers? Aren't you Alex Jones and Infowars and?
Well, we're not with
Wait, hold on. Hold on, one second. I think we have a lot more in common with libertarians and revolutionaries than we have differences. Don't let these divisive issues separate us.
I just want them to let everybody know who they represent.
lastrevolution.us.
Okay. And Infowars and Alex Jones.
Infowars is down that way.
Absolutely, we agree with Alex Jones on a lot of
There's
stuff.
a lot of things I disagree with Infowars about, but there's a lot of things that Infowars has exposed.
Well, I think everybody agrees and disagrees on many platforms across the board.
But I think one thing that we all agree on is anti-establishment.
I agree with that. Totally. Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
The Benghazi thing, I feel like, I'm not going to judge her on that. I'd say go to the Congress and talk to them about cutting the budget for the security for all of the embassies. And then I'd say, why don't you go take a look at all the people that were killed during Bush's presidency alone. George W., the brilliant George W.
Yeah.
I would say take a look at all of that stuff. As far as the alleged theft of the election, I have a lot of friends who are being affected by it. I have a friend who posted on Facebook that said that her parents' entire neighborhood in the West Hollywood area didn't receive ballots and no notice of a voting location. The entire area. And I just find it really interesting that I've never heard of this before until this election, and that it seems to be happening to Bernie Sanders supporters and not to Hillary Clinton supporters or even not to Drumpy's supporters.
Because I've been to mostly all the rallies. I went to a rally yesterday in Long Beach, and we went to a Hillary Clinton rally, and it wasn't that many people. The mainstream media was saying, oh, it was packed out. And I feel like the mainstream media is contributing to Hillary Clinton's side.
I agree. I think well, essentially they funded her campaign. If you take a look at all, I walked by the CNN truck over there. I go, what are they doing here? They're just going to make up a story.
They'll make up a story.
I really feel. Because I used to think that Rachel Maddow was one of the most intelligent, smart people who had great ideas and pragmatically spelt some things out really well. Yes, she's emphatic. Yes, she comes off wacky at times, but I agree and understood her passion. And now the stuff she's talking about, I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
What, did they rewrite the script and change the character completely?
She's reading from a teleprompter. Right?
Yeah.
You can't trust none of those guys reading from the teleprompter. I mean, Obama's teleprompter cut off and he was just stuttering like,
yeah.
They can't talk without a teleprompter, but thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
And I knew, yes I knew I should leave when I heard him say, I come a little bit close to you, my kind of person, a big little trunk. Come. Henry Kissinger on base, everybody! From the dog park! Henry Kissinger on base! I gotta talk to my friend over here.
Do you like Bernie Sanders?
Yes, I do. I'm a little bit right of Bernie, but very far left.
Let's move to the right because there's a bus coming.
Sure. Bye-bye. Howdy, sir. I just wanted to check in with you. No, you can't.
This is an imperative time in our political history as Americans.
How do you feel about Hillary Clinton trying to steal the election from Bernie Sanders through the superdelegates?
I'm enraged and disappointed. I think that it's time to stop that kind of corrupt politics, and hence why I'm here for Bernie.
Yeah. And do you agree with some of Bernie's immigration policies?
I do, and I agree with not building a wall. Let's say that.
And what's your favorite thing about Bernie Sanders?
In all honesty, I love his policy, and I have always been a big believer in a lot of the policy that he promotes and supports, especially getting big money out of government. I think that is the biggest problem we have in our country right now, is big money in government. But honestly, he could be my Jewish grandpa, and I love that.
And a real quick question:
Yes.
Do you have, with the whole Hillary Clinton scandal, do you have more faith in the mainstream media right now?
No, I have absolutely no faith in mainstream media right now. They have not been speaking about Bernie. They continue to persuade our public to think that Hillary has taken this election, and she hasn't yet.
Yeah.
And that will be proven this evening.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.